All right, so we're gonna go over just another thing that's kind of like a tip for preparing for rendering. And today's kind of like a utility day, if you didn't realize. Like I'm trying to throw out all the like little tidbits you need to think about before you actually set up and storyboard your renders. Um, One thing you do need to consider is the way materials are applied. Okay, so right now our model is super basic, and it's really easy for us to um, go through and like change the materials and change the layers of things. But what you really want to do is get in the habit of modeling with layers, meaning you're not just modeling everything on the gray default layer and then changing it to a new layer later when you need them. Okay, so everything should probably have a different layer so that when you get to the material application phase, it's much easier. So let's do this. Let's add a couple layers to this. We're going to add a floor layer. We're going to add a walls layer, a ceiling layer, and we're going to add, let's just start with sculpture A and sculpture B. Okay. This is totally up to you. I don't care if you guys use colors or not, but I think it would behoove you to use colors. So usually I try to stick to something that's not super saturated, but has like a kind of a color that represents kind of the material that I'd be applying. But the downside of this class is that we're not really using color. I mean, we'll use some, okay? But the colors we're going to be using is largely going to be grayscale, and then we're going to use accent colors. Okay, so we're keeping it kind of noir in that regard. So anyway, the floors, I'm going to stick to like some blues and stuff. So I'm going to make my floors mostly just like a light slate gray. My walls, I'm just going to make an actual gray. The ceiling, I'll kind of make a sea greenish sort of color. And then what we're going to do with sculpture A and sculpture B is we're going to create like a base, and then we're going to have an object on top of that base. Okay, the reason is we're going to really study how lighting and material changes. So for now, we're going to leave it simple. It could just be a little pylon like this or something like that. But we're going to give this a little bit more of an accentuated color, just so I know that it's going to be something we're working with quite a bit. Okay, let me make that more orangey. All right, so sculpture A I'm going to leave as my object layer. Sculpture B I'm going to make my base layer, but change object layer, and what I'm going to do here is grab that, move it up 18 inches, and then I will copy that. Minus 18 inches. Scale it. 1.1. Good enough for me. Change object layer. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be the basic study for me. I'm going to just kind of study how the light is going to start bouncing off of this thing. So why do you guys think I created separate layers for my floor and my walls? What's that?
So that you can turn it off.
Yeah, I mean I can turn it on and off if I want to, but I mean there's a very rendering specific reason. Different materials, right? And the key about that is that some materials you want to have, even if it's just going to be like a grayscale model, even if every single color in your model is going to be white, okay? Some materials you want to be reflective, glossy, matte, satin, whatever the case is. Particularly with floors, floors should have a little bit of a glossier sort of finish, okay? So that should reflect things that are on the ground. Let me see if I can find... Okay, so the ground plane is actually, really critical. It's very difficult to activate the ground plane and make it feel like it's important, and like it's contributing to the rendering. Otherwise, you know, it falls flat. It starts to feel like it's got a lot of wasted space. But this is a really good example of what happens when you have, you know, non-reflective surfaces on the ground plane and reflective surfaces. It's a far more intriguing relationship between the ground plane and what's happening above. Okay, that's the key. So pay attention to that as we move forward. For walls, the good thing about walls is they're pretty, you know, standard. You can leave them pretty blank. You do usually want to include a little bit of reflectivity on walls, but that's why we keep them as a separate material, because you don't want them to reflect what's happening around it. And then ceilings are kind of you know, I don't usually do too much with my ceilings. I kind of leave them, yeah, I kind of leave them as is, generally. Unless there's a reason I need it to reflect, or if it's a reflective material, I kind of just leave them pretty matte finish. Okay? Just because I always pick like really sort of like, I tend to like to look down on things like this. A lot of people like to do the very dramatic up angles, and that's fine, but then you start to, you know, realize that a lot of ceiling materials and designs are not as intriguing, so that's why. You know, but it's up to you guys to design it to be interesting. Okay. So anyway, this video more serves to just remind you guys to be using layers, and if you're going back to review it, that I want all of these things on separate layers. Okay. What other questions do you have? Probably none about this one. It's just layers.